Our anniversary month, and we want to thank our volunteers, business associates, and you, our supporters and listeners. Follow us on our social media platforms all month long to stay connected. Get ready, get ready, get ready for a month of celebration on SBRLiveFM.com.
Well, here's a gentleman that don't need no big long introduction. This is the gentleman that brought me into the radio land and got me started on radio way back in the 80s. And I want to introduce to you guys none other than a man himself, the guru of gospel music, Toronto. I would say the man who, how should I say, he pirated? Yeah. He helped, but you know what? He pushed this thing so far. Like, I mean, I want to believe he was one of the first in Toronto to promote, produce, push urban gospel. And I say urban gospel because of the fact that urban gospel mostly reflects a lot of the what we call the colored folk. The colored folk. I want to say good morning to Mr. Courtney Williams. Good morning, sir. How you doing today?
Good morning, Mr. Clairmont. Bro G would said you're looking mightifully well. We're still trying to cut that lax off.
Oh man, really?
He has the I must tell you that I have the medicine and he has the scissors.
No, I'm gonna tell you, this is going all the way back to the CIUT days, Gospel Music Machine. Courtney Williams is the one who started Gospel Machine. What year you started Gospel Music Machine?
I think it was, I don't know, they said it's 34 years ago or
Right.
something like that.
Right.
So whatever the date is, I can't count anymore. After 25, Clement, you don't count anymore. After 20, you just stop counting, right? You're celebrating 20 now, don't count anymore. Just enjoy the ride, man.
It's true. It's true. It's true. Because we celebrating what? I think we're celebrating 21 years this year. So
There
pretty
you
much.
go. You stop counting now. Just enjoy the ride and give God thanks. I'm telling you, man. Just give God thanks. Clement, before you go, I must say happy birthday to Bev. I think it was last week. She was Bev's birthday.
Oh, really? Wow.
so
For the folks who don't know, okay, let's give them a little bit of history here. Let's tell them who Bev is, the bodacious one.
Okay, Bev is trust me, Bev got connected with the show when we started. We did our first fundraising.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we had a competition where somebody who gives the most, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then she won it, and then she came down and she was there for years and years and years until she moved off to the States, right?
Yeah.
She got married and moved to the States. And you used to be Bev Transport, I must say.
Well, before I became Best Transport, actually, you had a competition that was going on at the station for somebody for us to send a song, and we get an opportunity to come and sit with you for the Sunday.
Okay.
And I sent my music in, and I came and I sat, and Bev says, "Why don't you stay?" I'm like, this thing scares me, man. And she invited me to come the next week, and I just keep coming, and before you know it, I was helping doing the engineering, and before you know it, one day you guys decide to disappear and leave me there. Both you and Bev.
I mean, you can't just learn without trying, right? You have to learn. And once you learn and we figure, you know what's going on, there's no need to keep in the background because, we all need to travel at times.
Right.
And we need to travel at times. That's just how it goes, right?
It felt like a complete setup though, because I called Bev. She says, "I'm not coming in today, so you just go down and hang out with Courtney." I says, "Oh, no problem." I got to the station. "Hey, Clairmont, what? I'm not coming in today." "What?" This is the first day. That's the first day the station, the gospel music machine had the most music ever because I refused to say anything. I just let the music play, and that was it. But listen, I want to thank you for giving me the start, giving me the opportunity. Out of that birth Streaming Praise Radio, and here we are today. But I wanted to talk to you specifically about some things I mean, you were the pioneer. You started. I remember when you used to go with those days. You had all these records at the back of your bike, riding down on a Monday to CIUT to do the Gospel Music Machine. What was it like then for you, man?
Well, for me, it was like, I didn't think about it. You have a station, you need to get there.
Mm-hmm.
You had a show, you need to get there, and whatever means necessary, because the bus started running at 5 o'clock, right?
Mm-hmm.
The bus started at 6 o'clock, the subway started at 9, and our show started at 6.
Right.
So how you gonna get there, right? Either I walk or I go down and take the night bus. So I figure, you know what? In the summertime, on my bicycle, I go.
Right.
I have no qualms with that. I enjoyed every minute of it.
So in doing that, there's a lot. I mean, what folks don't know about you, they may know Courtney as a producer, know Courtney as a promoter, they may know Courtney as a radio personality, but I don't think a lot of people know you as a musician.
Well, yeah, I started playing drums in 1976, played with most of the groups around town, played at the big festivals,
Mm-hmm.
But then one day I was reading something that there was a radio station gathering, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm always interested in promoting Canadian gospel. And I went to this function, and the gentleman, I asked him, CHFI, I said, how come y'all don't play gospel music? And he bluntly told me, because you guys don't promote it. And I said, what? We don't promote it? And from that day, I kind of switched my gear from a musician to a promoter, where a promoter takes up a lot of time. So I start to promote gospel and less and less play, give other guys opportunities to play.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, that's how I really bridged the gap between I was always promoting before. My first concert was in 76.
Right.
But then I realized now, in order to get the music and to see what's happening in the real world, because there's a real world out there away from gospel that everybody functions in, that gospel musicians need to understand. If you want to get your music online or even on a radio station, you have to know the ropes.
Right.
It takes a lot of time. You have to know that there's adult contemporary, there's Christian contemporary, there's Christian hip hop, there's your show, my show. We're different because we play anything sometimes, right?
Right.
For the sake of helping somebody. But when you get into the contemporary Christian now, everything is a flag. We play. They only add two maybe 2 rotations per Sunday morning per week.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now we add anything. So that's how I bridge the gap to learn about how the music system works in radio, in commercial radio and non-commercial radio. So for me, that's how I kind of, as a musician, I just transitioned into this thing. But I was a drummer, played on Hunter Street, did all the big festival all over. I mean, I enjoyed it.
I remember my first time seeing you. Actually, I know you played for Sweet Sound and all those different groups and so forth, but I remember there was a jam session you guys had. I don't remember which church it was at, and we sat there and we were looking at you playing with I think it was Glenn Myers was his name, Glenn Myers.
Yeah, Glenn, the retiree, Glenn.
Yes, and Glenn, yourself, and and you were playing a jazz riff, and Glenn was doing the runs and the bass, and I'm thinking, wow, this man can really play, because I'm in there seeing you playing before, and you just tore off. And I mean, it was I think it was at down on Brandon Avenue, where what's a church called again, where Karen Burke and Oswald used to be the music director there at one point. Is Brandon Avenue, with Pastor Taylor was the pastor at the time.
Oh yeah, Oakwood Wesleyan.
Oakwood Wesleyan, there you go, Oakwood Wesleyan. That was the jam session with all the. Then I recognized that, and I'm thinking, wow, I'm hanging with some real musicians. So to see you play, by that time too, you were not playing as much. So you came in.
No, I stopped playing not stopped playing, but slowed down my playing because of my involvement in, when you do the radio show, you have promotions, I didn't want to burn myself out.
And here's the thing, though. In promotions, they had a lot of ups and downs for you, in terms of planning concerts. One of the concerts I remember that almost busted for you, and because I was helping you with that one, was when you were bringing the Winans in, BBC's Winan. And there was a little mix up in the border between Buffalo and here. Certain things weren't supposed to happen. Those moments, what were those moments like as a promoter?
I learned to be tough and calm and a steady hand.
Mm-hmm.
When you do big shows, Clement, you gotta have, how do I put it? You gotta be tough as a rock
Mm-hmm.
and unmovable, right? Because you have to understand the big shows. The number one rule for me in a big show is this, right? You don't spend the money until the minute after the concert.
Right.
You don't spend me. You
Mhm.
don't spend the ticket money until the minute after the concert.
Mhm.
Once the concert starts, 1 second after, the money belongs to you, the promoter. Before then, it belongs to the patrons.
Right.
So when you work under those notions, right, and you realize that, you know, the concert costs 70,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to basically have all your funds together, you know, juggling. You know, I never forget the Winans. I think that's one of the biggest produced gospel produced show, because people don't understand. You go to Metro Toronto Convention Center.
Mm-hmm.
You have to bring, you have to bring the lights in. You have to bring. It's like we basically bring the chairs in.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And you bring everything in. So plus the Winans wasn't cheap.
Tell me about it. Yes, there was the whole kit and caboodle came down, man.
Yeah, like 25,000. Then
Right.
when we realized that they couldn't travel across the border with their instrument, I mean, we had to basically clean out a studio just to accommodate the show. I mean, you're in a Kirk Squealer. How many guys play a Kirk Squealer? The keyboard. I mean,
Right.
Stephen Ford was the music director, and good that he was a friend of mine, because I knew him long time ago when he was with Battle Creek Choir. I worked with him when he produced that. Because he was a music director, he said, "Courtney, I got you." So he helped me. He just keep everything calm for me, and I got, what, I got blessed to, because Madonna show was the day before at the convention center. So at this, I think the Sky Dome was there. Yeah, so they just moved everything over.
Yes,
You see what I mean?
yes.
And my sound guy Gabor, I've known this guy for years, so people kind of work with me.
Mm-hmm.
But Clement, when you're doing these shows, and just when the show started and I sat back and see everything falling smooth, and I realized, you're gonna pull the show off, you ain't gonna lose no money, but still, people, that's why I feel so bad now for all these promoters and presenters during this pandemic. I feel bad for them,
Yeah.
because Clement, you do a show, you put everything up. This is your livelihood, right? People don't understand that it's like throwing good money at dirty money. And to see, that's why I pray for them every day, that God will help them. Just help them to get back on track, because it's a lot of money
It is.
going down the tube. A lot of families,
It
even
is.
you in radio, you're trying, but people don't understand the amount of manpower and time that goes into this. But getting back to the wine and show, there was some trying times. I had some, there's some.
I remember trying to. Are you there, sir? Or you can get pulled out. Did we lose him? Not yet. He's still there. Can you hear me? We're still talking to Mr. Williams, but I think the internet just get busted there, so we're gonna hang in there and see until he comes back. Okay, there he is. He's in again. Let's see if we can bring him back in. There you go. Are you back in, sir?
I think the phone was too much in the sun.
Oh.
There it is. I have to be very careful. I have to find a better. Let me see if this will work.
All right.
We use it. It was too much in the sun. You know how these technology-driven cell phones.
All right. Yeah. That's okay. That's okay. We got you. I remember the time at the Winans concert too. I was trying to talk to you. It says, Courtney, what's going on? Not now, Clairmont. Not now. Hold on. We'll talk to you in a minute, because you were just trying to get all. And to me, that's the first time I have seen you at work, just trying to make sure everything comes together as the promoter, the producer of this whole big production that I've never, ever seen at this level, because that was the biggest concert ever bringing in that you brought in single-handedly into Toronto.
Well, Clem, I'll tell you something. This is my motto, and people will understand me. I've had friends flew over from, never forget, I lost a friend because of this. They flew over from Winnipeg, and it was a concert at, it was a BB and CC Winers concert at Seneca College.
Right.
And, and they said I passed them 10 times and never said hi. But when you're running a show and you're laser focused, you can't, and there's a problem. There's a fire burning. It's artists who doesn't like their dressing room, or they just came in and they want that, they want this, People, these guys becoming like, they're like gentle giants, You're trying to tiptoe with them. So when you call me,
well, I understood it. I understood it, period. In terms of what was happening, as somebody said, you're a legend in this thing, because I remember somebody came after you, and I'm not going to mention the name right now, that came after you and they said they made this statement. Actually, they made a statement publicly, and I heard, and I came to you and said, whatever, man, let them go ahead. We can do better than Courtney. We can produce bigger concerts than Courtney. And I said to you, this is what the person's, and you said, let them go ahead. And they brought the Clark sisters in, and next minute we see them running, running across the parking lot because they didn't have everything together. They were disappearing. And this is some of the things that people don't understand: the hard work, the stick-to-itiveness, the dedication in bringing these things together. Now, you also helped bring the AGMA, Gospel America. Was it GMW? How do you GMW? Right, Gospel Music.
Yeah, we put we had the Association of Gospel Music Ministries.
Yes, the Associate Gospel Music Ministries. And we had the Toronto chapters. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Right.
No, first we had the Association of Gospel Music Ministries.
Right.
That started Toronto Mass Choir. That's where the birth of the Toronto Mass Choir came from.
Right.
That's where the birth of the Martin Luther King celebrations came from. Right. And then we affiliated ourselves with the GMWA in the States, right? To affiliate ourselves with GMWA in the States, and they came here for a while. What we tried to do, Clement, was to help the Canadian artists realize an alignment, but it seemed like the Canadian gospel music wasn't ready for that.
It's true, absolutely true. And we're going to get this conversation going today, because I know different things are happening with the internet. So we're going to keep the stream going. I want to apologize we're supposed to have another broadcast coming in, but I will explain that to you later, because I really want to get this with Mr. Williams here, as we get everything flowing the way it ought to flow. There we go.
So, Clem, I don't know what's with
that's all right, man. It's all right.
Canadian gospel music wasn't ready for that, right?
Yeah.
In this, we even went as far as creating Factor, Clement. We created Factor where people go in, but we couldn't even get 12 people to approve the money, and now we're on the outs. You know what I'm saying? We created so many things, but the community was not ready for it. Now, many people are trying to get funding and stuff now. So I think that now everybody is awake. You know what I'm saying? But we brought the GWMA here. That's me working for America here.
Yeah, he's gonna come back in. He's gonna come back in. If it doesn't happen this way, we're gonna probably bring him in on phone as well, so we're gonna keep going. See how that works.
Telephone, man. I have to go back. I must say, this is a Chinese built telephone. So I have to go back to my answer. Why is it heating up? I don't know what's going on here, you know? I mean, you know, it says it's overheating, so I'm not gonna keep you delaying your show.
No, what we can do if it keeps overheating, I'm not sure how that's gonna work, but I really want to get some questions into you before I let you go. One of the things,
go ahead.
What the thing is that as we speak right now, you created all these different things. As we speak right now, we've asked some of the gospel artists we've spoken to, including Devon Wells, who's another promoter as well in Toronto. Do you see us? How do you see gospel music right now as you speak? I mean, after all the years, because we really don't have a gospel music association, and do you see that we're ready to do it now with all these artists that we see coming up now? I tell you, folks. Well, here's what we're gonna do. Hopefully, when he comes back in, we're gonna try to see if we can. I don't know if he heard the question. Did you hear the question?
The audio only. Sorry, I'm gonna do the audio only.
Okay, try the audio
Okay.
only. That's fine.
All right.
Yeah, that's fine. Do the audio only. That's good.
How I see it now, Clement, is basically artists got to work together. You know, example, you in radio, I see singles coming out and we don't get it until like 8 weeks after. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
So I just believe now as artists, even as for going the future, we have to learn to use technology to move ahead. And we have to learn to work together and to help one another and to find a way back to the source where we have to create more. I think we have to create more workshops and more what I call shows together. And you know, and if you and try to intermingle with one another to see what's happening, because nobody knows what's going to become a hit. You know what I mean? But I think we have lost this connection with one another because everybody come out, oh man, I don't need you, man. I don't need this, man. I don't need that, man. You know, some people believe that because they go to school, they have the smarts, but it's still what I call street smart, Clairmont. You have to be street smart.
Yep.
And the black gospel artists got to become like the contemporary Christian white artists. If I say that not in a bad way.
No,
Where
we
they
understand. We
They
understand.
have to get their music to the church to sing. That's the only saving grace they have. They have to get the music. Once the church start to sing your music on a Sunday morning, Clip. You imagine 1,000 church singing their music on a Sunday morning? I mean,
Yeah. I mean, Andrew Crouch is the perfect example of that. Andrew Crouch is a perfect example of having churches singing his music on a regular, and we still sing it today. We still sing it today.
Yeah. But not only that because CCLI is there, Christian Licensing Agency, you can get paid because of that. Because every church has to pay to have those songs on the screen.
Right.
And there's not a single church I don't know now who doesn't have the songs on the screen.
Right. Right.
So
right.
we have to tap into those resources. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes artists now are trying to get a hit song. Where are you gonna get a hit song from? You have to, once the church starts singing your music, then it comes from inside out, just like Kirk Franklin for its song. The Why We Sing. It was the church that made it that started singing that song, you know, and people start to pick it up. Marvia Providence, Hear My Cry, Your Lord.
Right.
So we have to get, once you get the church to sing your song, and the thing I don't understand, we have all these praise and worship leaders. They write songs, and I don't see them singing them songs. Can you explain that to me, sir?
I often, because here's one of the things, Courtney, that I've noticed with some of the songs that these writers write today. To sing a song in church, it has to be meaningful to everybody else, in the sense that it's a worship to God, it's praise to God, and not to yourself, and not you begging for stuff, right? Hear My Cry, O Lord, is a worship to God, you know, that's from the scripture. And you know, so we don't write songs like that anymore. The songs are more focused on a self-centered kind of thing. So some of those songs are not fit to be sung in church.
But Clement, some of them songs I've listened to them. Majority of them can be sung. It's wordy, but if you compare it to the other songs, it's almost, I don't think it's much different, right? But I just think that, example, we're very impatient. It's just like playing for a group. And we played tonight. This is why our defeat is. I played for a group, and even the artists that I manage, they don't understand that there's a different audience every night. But every night they said I sang that last night. I sing that last night. But you have to understand that you're catering for John public, not for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And many artists, it's like you will do a concert, Clement, and you will do 5 concerts, or I'm singing the same song.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to understand, but it's a different audience. It doesn't
Yes.
matter.
Yeah.
But you perfect the song.
Right.
They're singing it all the time.
Do you remember? Do you remember the song that I was known for?
That one by that what's the guy to sing with Bill Gates?
Midnight Cry. I sang that song everywhere.
I won't tell the joke about the Midnight Cry at the top.
Shh.
It's a Christian radio, so I will leave that alone. The Midnight Cry was there, but no, it's not your work.
Listen, we just had a young lady. I think she's the first black female to win a Juno Award for gospel, hip hop or something like that. Hip hop, I think, no, R&B. I think that's what it was. Yeah. Shauna Kane. But Shauna Kane may have won this award, but what Shauna Kane don't know is that because of you and Oswald, were able to get a gospel category into the Juno Awards.
Yeah, but you know how I heard of Shauna Kane?
Mm-hmm.
These folks, we never get not a single. They don't know radio. I didn't get nothing from them. I had to look it up. That's when I saw the nomination. I said, "Does she exist?" That's an example. And that's a typical example, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of I'm not putting nobody down. Of short-sightedness that the gospel artists have. You know what I'm saying? They don't understand. It's like they don't understand that promoters like yourself, myself, all these guys out there have an audience.
Yeah. Well, I think what it is, Courtney, for example, Gospel Music Machine has been around for 34 years. I spent 16 years with Gospel Music Machine before I finally came here. And I find that the folks see us as like small, but they don't know our beginning. They don't know some of the things that they're writing on now, some of the things that we have paved along the way. It was kind of very pleasant hearing Justice Donald McLeod giving a speech at Black History Month and said, I was one of the people that he looked up to and tried to emulate me in perfection of music. And I'm thinking, me? But the thing is, we stand on each other's shoulders, but when we minimize those that below us and we think we are all the way up there and we're forgetting people, pretty soon you go up and you die. Because you go to the big stations and the big stations will look for bigger people. And if you don't fly in that court, they're going to lose you. And while we're still here trying to keep you going. So I think that's one of the things that most of our gospel singers today don't see. People like the Gospel Music Machine, Streaming Praise Radio are some of the stations that they need to stick with, because it's through us people will get to hear them. I mean, you can go to G98 and those stations to get your stuff played, which I heard our music played there, and we'll get all excited about that. But the ones that is going to keep us flying is Gospel Music Machine, Streaming Praise Radio, that kind of stuff. And we don't see it that way, and that has been our problem for years.
But Clement, I'm telling you something, that this is what I've learned over the years. If you look at, there's a thing that we used to have in the business that's called turntable hit.
Right.
That's all.
Yeah.
The only turntable hit. There's nothing else behind the concert. The people that's on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
You need to connect with you, myself. Those are the people that connect with the promoters.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm trying to let the group know. You have to connect with the college, because most college radios have a gospel show. Those are 90% of them are connected to the local promoter.
Mm-hmm.
And when you want to do a show in Montreal, look at Chris in Montreal, Gordon in Ottawa. These are guys that's connected to doing shows, and they are DJs. Mm-hmm. That is how hip-hop came about. Mm. Hip-hop connected with the ground guys who were underground. So if you know this guy over here, he's connected with this promoter. Listen, I'm bringing in, say, when Jay-Z example, you want to be on the show. You have an artist you want to put on the show. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. What I'm trying to say, they have to expand their minds from what I call the YouTube hit or the Spotify streaming hit and connect with the local people so your music can grow. Because People buy music, Clement, when they hear you, when they see you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? People wanted that part of their collection. So I'm encouraging groups that not put anyone down to kind of expand your boundaries. Don't give up on the local component, because at the end of the day, they don't know how many people are watching your show.
True.
They don't know how many people are watching my show.
Mm-hmm.
I never forget when somebody said somebody here once, one of our past announcers, and it was like, my God, all these people are tuning into the gospel music machine. I could not believe it.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So
Mm-hmm.
don't underestimate, because of social media, don't underestimate the guide. You're constantly there every day.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what they have to look at. We're there every week. When you're there, you don't know people at work. They may not log on and subscribe to you, but they're tuning in.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I think that, these artists we all need to work together at the bottom line, Clement. Do some research. And, I was on an interview last Monday with a program director or a musical director at a station in Barrie. What's it called?
93.1?
It's a gospel station.
Yeah, I know, 93.1.
Yeah. And one day, when they describe the rigorous process just to get a song played, I'm saying to myself, we need to work together.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're locked up from the start, because you're competing with other elements, and we don't have we don't have what you call some of the elements to reach. So you're up against the wall before you start. That is why it's important to stay together, to stick together. That's why it's important to stick together.
Very true. And I mean, you and I still have some stuff pandemic threw all of us off, because we were supposed to sit down and have a conversation, which we're going to do, because we were talking about doing something pertaining to bringing this whole thing together for a gospel association, especially among media. And we never get a chance to talk about it any further, but we still have to meet about that, because it is very much needed right now in Toronto. As somebody just texts me and says, Canada has a lot of gospel music that we didn't know about. And I said, yeah, but they're kind of fragmented, because, you hear one here, you hear one there, but we're not working together as a cohesive group. So that's what makes this so horrible, that people don't know about us. Now, if you go to the, what you call them, the CGMA, where it's the white gospel, or the white folks doing gospel, they seem to have this thing together, and most of our music don't fit into their system.
It's been like that from day one, Clement.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. Never forget when we started the Association of Gospel Music Ministries. One of the head of the CGMA said to us that we should call ourselves the Association of Black Gospel Music. I say, why don't you call yourself the CGMA of white gospel music? That's how deep it gets. Let me tell you, let me be frank with you, Clement.
Mm-hmm.
Christian music is one of the most rated music on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not about to make bones of it. It's just true.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Mm-hmm.
white gospel, black gospel, white gospel, black gospel, and even as a concert, you go to some churches, they won't even let you in the door because we don't play that music over here. People have to understand what we've been through. I never forget, before I got into Queensway, Clement.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I won't mention the name. I couldn't even get to the door.
We lost him again. We'll get him back. We'll get him back. What he's saying is so right, because I remember taking my first and only album I've ever done. I took it to, then it was 1320. And they told me they don't play my kind of music there. And then I took it to, I had it going to WDCX, and there again too, they say they don't play my kind of music there too. So, the only place my music was played is at CIUT, Gospel Music Machine. You remember that? Are you there, Courtney? You remember that?
I remember that. Yeah, I'm listening. You can hear me? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you have to understand, folks have to understand that they build up a culture.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to, not racist, we have to build together. Together we fall, together we rise.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I think that we have to start building together. I don't care what you are, because the only mainstream gospel or Christian music out there is black gospel.
Right.
Black gospel is the only mainstream gospel music. Christian music is not mainstream gospel.
No.
You used to go to any of the record store and you could not find a Christian music in the record store, only the black gospel.
Mm-hmm.
And the Christian store used to lock the black gospel out.
Yeah, I remember those days too. I remember
So
those days. Those days. Those were the days. Those were the days.
And listen, I can tell the stories about it, but what I'm trying to say, Clement, at the end of the day, God has blessed us with time. We just have to work on it, and don't. And I always tell people, I feel that if it's not certified by a group of people, it's not right. What are you talking about? Promote your music to the people. Don't focus on promote your music to the people. Don't focus on individuals. I used to say, we fly above the pastors, we fly above the churches, we fly to the people where God will do the rest.
Yes.
Don't focus on the churches. Don't focus on all these blockers. And every time people put you down, use it as gasoline into your tank. So next time they'll come, next time they find you, you'll be way up ahead of them because you put more gasoline into your tank. So we have to have that mentality. When people tell you that, oh, okay, no problem, you just take that as gasoline into your tank. Well, I'm going to work a little bit harder and go a little bit further. So 1 year down the road, when they ask, what happened to that person? Oh my God, you're that far. Because you have used it as a measure. That's how I live my life, Clement. You tell me no, I said, okay. I go back to the drawing board, sit down and say, God, give me an idea. That's how you have to do it, Clement. I don't let nothing stop me. Nothing stop me. My old pastor used to say, Courtney, listen, man, just let the church fall where they fall, man. And I've been blessed, Clement, to have Revival Time Tabernacle as my backup doing all these big shows. I mean, we had fun doing all these big shows, and we did it on a scale that was huge.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And because of that, we were creating a platform. And listen, pandemic is almost finished. I still have my platform. We still have the church.
Yeah.
We still have the outdoor.
Yeah.
Just waiting.
Yeah.
And we're not looking backwards. I'm still here.
Yeah.
I'm still here, and I'm creating. We have to create and get together and create a new technology now, where we can have our music live out there. I mean, we have the gear, we have everything. But Clement, for me, I'm more excited now than ever, man. I may have some setback, but I'm more excited than ever. Listen, man, I'm a 16-year-old in a 12-year-old body, buddy.
I know the feeling. I know the feeling.
So, I will talk to Brother G. No matter how, listen, even doing the show, sometimes you're tired, you don't want to.
Yes.
You get up anyway. Even with my radio show, I've been doing it for so long now, and still have taping from home, Clement. You're blessed. It's time consuming.
Yes, it
6
is.
hours to do a 3-hour show, and we've been doing it, but you still have to get up. After finish, you have to go home and tape a segment. You still have to do it. You still have to do it. But it's the joy that you bring to people.
Yeah.
Anytime I get discouraged, somebody always called me and said, you know what? I will listen to your show this morning. I got a blessing from it. God always have somebody come out. I'm sure it happens to you too, to encourage you. People put you down and say, Lord, people always come and say, I was blessed by your show. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. I mean, you're just taking me back to the old days, the good old days. Then we used to have to be down there at least by 5:30 in the morning, and those used to be some, like, especially if we did something the Saturday night before, like a concert, and you got to get up early the next morning. Oh man, that used to be rough. We all come in there, man, I'm tired, but we get in the, hey, good morning.
You were off. Everybody was off, and I did a show in Montreal with Sweet Sound, and I drove up because I had to drive back, Clement. And right after the show, I hightailed it out of Montreal, driving Oswald's car. And I reached back to the show at 10 to 6, coming in from Montreal.
Wow. I think I remember that time, yeah.
But it's fun. We have fun doing it, Clement, and this is our journey, right? Nobody could make your journey for you.
This is true.
Look
This
at
is true.
people have put you down. Look at people come and say, ah, yeah, look at people put you down. But did it stop you?
Nope.
Did it
You
discourage
keep
you?
going. You keep going. You keep going. You
Think
keep
about the
going.
time you've been hit down with your radio station. Have to go from facilities to facilities, rebuild. Did
Mhm.
it stop you?
Nah,
God give you what? 2 hands, right?
that's right.
Give you 2 feet. I mean, you came to CIUT and you learned from the rough way how to do a broadcast. You know it has to be done. I mean, we were in a little coop. Look, see, when you come and see the little room we broadcast from, you then wait a minute. We don't need a big space.
No, this is true, and I duplicated that when I first did start streaming praise radio. The same small room, start in a small area, and you build slowly to what you want to, and get it to the way you want to. Look at us now, actually doing TV work as well. Who would have thought? That God would have taken it this far. And Courtney, man, you have been such a pillar of strength and encouragement to me in my journey, especially in radio and in music in Toronto. I remember the first time when you heard me singing, you says, Clairmont, you got to come and do. This time you were at the church at the Church of the Cross down in Sinclair, and to
Yeah,
do
boss is still there, buddy.
I did like I think an hour and a half of singing it was a basement, the basement of the church. You were having a youth day or something like that, and you asked me to come in and sing. I was so nervous. I said, don't worry about it, man, don't worry, just sing. And I sang there for about an hour and a half. It was an experience because I've never done it before. Quite an experience. You have done so many things in Toronto, Courtney, that a lot of people don't know. Some of the things that they're standing on now. You talk about Factor, talk about the Juno Awards, the AGMM. Now, do you see the Association of Gospel Music coming back?
Oh yeah, man, it's in the pipeline, Clement. It's just a matter of time now. It's in the pipeline. It's almost there.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that the pandemic kind of shift everything, and with work, everything shift. Time became a little bit tough.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because those of you shift to working online, so
Right.
you shift everything online. So your time plus you're teaching your children going to school.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
So, but hopefully, I'm gonna link all you guys, get everybody back together,
Mhm.
and we just do something because one thing I want to honor is the legacy of Fitzroy Gordon,
Yeah.
Dr. Jim, those guys who are, especially Fitzroy,
Yeah.
who sacrificed his life. You know what I mean?
Mm.
For not only for G that is, but for gospel music, because he knew gospel music was his love, and we have been, Clement, when you have been pushed down and pushed aside and tell you there's no room for you, then you have to pull your socks up and you tie your shoes and just put a better shoes on to walk.
Mhm.
But as I said, it's coming back, man. We can't let it go. Our friend Lisa is in the States now. Doing
Right.
wonderful.
Yeah. Yes.
God bless her. God bless her. She's if you go online now, you see how God has blessed her. I told her after all this, she has a wellspring spa over there, Clement, in
Mhm.
Washington. You can go over there and just line that spa, buddy.
Wow. You're talking about people that I have associated. You some things we tend to take for granted, but we don't realize how much of a pillar this has been building us all the years. Because Lisa, I remember one. I think it was a Saturday evening. I was coming down to help you with something. I don't remember what the program was you were setting up. He says, "Come give me a hand." I came down, and Pastor James walked in. He says, "Hi, Clairmont," and I'm thinking, he knows me. Like, of course he knows you. Like, how you doing, sir? I'm like, we talked to me, and Pastor James. I used to hang with. I used to go down to Fitzroy's program when he had and Chin Radio and work with him too as well. And along these lines, these are people that whose shoulders I stood on to bring me here today. And you were the main man that really honed my skills in being able to do radio and put all of this together. Because I remember when I started, I asked you a couple of questions and you said, this is what you do, this is what you do, this is what you do. And after then, that was it. And it just happened. So I personally want to thank you. Us as Streaming Praise Radio, we want to thank you for spending the time with us, sharing your side of the story. And we're looking forward to, because I think I mentioned it to the guys too here at the station. about doing something to bring the black gospel singers together again, some kind of association. And once
Yeah, man. We need to, buddy. We need to.
and if AGMM is planning and coming back up, why try to reinvent the wheel? We want to be on board with you. So the sooner we can get together, let's do this.
Listen, man, I'm gonna come into the studio next time, buddy. This is, and you're gonna do some cooking, and I'll bring Brogy with me. We're gonna come.
Listen, whatever you know what? I'll tell you what. Here's the invitation now. Here's the invitation. My show is run Monday to Friday, right, from 8 to 10. If you guys can make it in the morning show,
yeah, we'll calm down, buddy. And number one, we're gonna talk about. He never forget where you stop him in the tracks about the smoking.
At your birthday party, he brought it up again. I had to put a stop to it. He said, I told you already. I says this, you cannot find anywhere in the scripture that says thou shalt not smoke. Let's not have a discussion with. He said, you know how much I searched the scriptures for that. He said, I have no answer for you, man. I said, I told you. Nowhere in the scripture says that. It will be a joy to have you guys here with me doing the show. Whenever you guys are ready, just let me know. I'm here Monday to Friday.
It's off, buddy. We're gonna come down there and bring you some Caribbean breakfast, buddy. We'll sit in the studio there and talk. But Clever, listen, I gotta run. But listen, it's always good talking to you, man.
It's a pleasure.
Listen,
it's a pleasure.
I'm gonna get you on my show as well. Get you up to talk about Canadian gospel music next week. So when we tape in the evening, so you can give your perspective and just a good look back that people may think that we're not working together, but brother, we are still friends.
Awesome. We're brothers, man. We're brothers. So listen, let me put it this way. Friday we do the Caribbean Day, and I know brothers you love the Caribbean stuff. Friday.
That we'll do.
All right. Blessings to you, man. You have yourself a blessed day. Thanks again. Bye bye.